Hi colleagues, I am very happy to cooperate again with the ASEAN Power Relation Network, the Institute Power Relation Malaysia, and work on this new edition of the Kuala Lumpur International Power Relation Conference. I'm going to share with you some thoughts about trends and duties related to them from the perspective of a power relation professional. After COVID-19, or when we are able to live with the virus with some normality, some things have changed, others have been accelerated, and some remain the same. Let's start with the ones that have changed. The first one is the world will have a greater perception of its vulnerability. From this perception comes some consequences. In fact, globalization will continue to be questioned, especially by those workers who are most afraid of the opening of borders and global competition. Citizens will be more aware of the importance of public health systems and will be more concerned about the operational efficiency of their governments. And finally, concern for mental health will grow. This is a consequence of breaks in routines and customs caused by restrictions on mobility. The second trend is about traveling. In fact, people will travel less physically and more digitally. Air travel will be reduced not only due to a lower frequency of business trips, but also due to pressures related to climate change, which points towards more environmentally friendly means of transport, such as the train. Really, in some Northern European countries, awareness-raising campaigns and movements are already taking place in this regard. As a consequence of less physical contact with relatives and friends who live far away, digital relationships will increase. The use of video conferences will continue to grow, especially among the elderly. Third one is about the family. The family will be strengthened as the primary core of belonging. Lockdown has meant for many people a return to the family. We have felt the warmth of our own, and we have realized that there is nothing more protective than the care and the love of those to whom you are bound by blood. The family will be more important, and the houses where we live as well. The upper and middle classes will look for more houses on the outskirts of the cities, bigger houses with gardens and more equipment, more technological equipment, houses more digitalized. In short, we are talking about this perception, digitalization to connect people and businesses, and return to fundamental values. Let's see how those trends are transferred to the business world. In this part of my speech, I'm going to apply the perspective of a business executive taking the report by two leaders of the McKinsey consulting firm, who have selected the 5 priorities for a CEO after the pandemic. According to Honayun Hatami and Liz Hilton, over the course of the pandemic, businesses have largely and often successfully adapted to new ways of working. They've also embraced digitalization and reorganized their supply chains. All of this has been necessary, but it will not be enough. To prepare for the post-COVID era, leaders need to do more than fine-tune their day-to-day tasks. They need to be ready and willing to rethink how they operate, and even why they exist. To put in another way, leaders need to step back, take a breath, and consider a broader perspective. The 5 priorities selected are: first one, center strategy on sustainability. Second, transform in the cloud. Third, cultivate the talent. Fourth, press the need for speed. And fifth, operate with purpose. Sustainability needs to be done as systematically as digitalization or strategy development, because it will be an important source for long-term competitive advantage. The potential of the cloud has long been recognized. Now it is beginning to bring real results in innovation and productivity. A second priority for companies is to deploy the cloud for good purpose. To do so, their people need to be cloud literate, that is, to have a keen sense of the cloud's capabilities. Developing talent is therefore another priority. The organization of the future will need to be more flexible, less hierarchical, and more diverse. And faster. Yes, faster. The pace of change is speeding up, and the landscape of business is more fluid than ever. The need for speed, we are talking about the fourth priority, is therefore acute. But this speed needs to be sustainable. Businesses did remarkable things in the early months of the pandemic, fueled by adrenaline and a sense of urgency. In the future, in the close future, speed needs to be embedded into the organization. Saying another way, speed is not just about reviewing the engine faster, but designing it to run more efficiently and intelligently. Finally, leaders need to recognize that people want meaning in their lives and in their work. Purpose helps companies recognize emerging opportunities and connect with their customers. These two should therefore be seen as a priority and a source of competitive advantage. Finally, I go through the main thing which will remain the same after the pandemic, because 2 years of difficulties cannot change millions of years of human evolution. Pollution will return, even if we are more aware of it. We will travel again to feel like explorers again, even if it is more difficult or even impossible to cross some borders. We will return to appreciate our possessions, although we are more aware of their inanity. We will give hugs to our friends again, even if we do so with a certain fear of contagion. We will eat again in restaurants, although we remember with nostalgia the family lunches of the lockdown. We will enjoy driving our vehicles again, even if traffic jam wastes our time again. We will commit excesses again because the return to the new normal will allow us to feel that we have overcome another crisis. Overall, the coronavirus may change the way we perceive our lives, but it certainly will not change the basic instincts that guide them. And what is the main instinct which guides us as individuals? It is survival. I mean sustainability, because they are synonymous in the business field. And what is the main emotion which guides us as members of a community? It is love. I mean engagement and trust. So, as communicators, we have the responsibility to guide those basic instincts and emotions towards the changes that our world, the unique one, needs to be more fair, habitable, and sustainable. That is our main vision as a profession: to create trust, to ensure the sustainability of our relationships, companies, societies, countries, and democratic systems.